For over a century, Rolls-Royce has chased one idea: that a car should move with such effortless silence that the outside world simply ceases to exist. Soft leather, hand-finished wood, a ceiling full of tiny stars, and beneath all of it, an engine that engineers spent decades trying to make disappear. They never quite succeeded. There was always a vibration, always a hum, always something reminding you that a machine was working underneath. Then they removed the engine entirely. And for the first time in 120 years, a Rolls-Royce became exactly what it always wanted to be. The 2026 Spectre, the first fully electric Rolls-Royce ever made, doesn't feel like an adaptation. It feels like an arrival. This car weighs nearly 3,000 kilograms. It produces 577 horsepower from 2 electric motors and 664 pound-feet of torque. More than a Lamborghini Huracan delivers at peak revs, except every Newton meter arrives the instant you touch the pedal. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.5 seconds. No gear shift, no engine note building, no drama. Just your body pressing quietly into handcrafted leather as the horizon pulls itself toward you. The Mercedes EQS is half the price and deeply impressive. The Lucid Air Grand Touring is faster in a straight line. Neither comes close to what happens inside this cabin. The Spectre doesn't compete with other electric cars. It exists in a category that didn't have a name until it arrived. Rolls-Royce built the Spectre on a platform they call the architecture of luxury. Not borrowed from BMW, not shared with any other vehicle, designed from blank aluminum exclusively for Rolls-Royce. Inside the floor sits a 102 kilowatt-hour battery pack, the largest in any ultra-luxury electric vehicle currently in production. But the battery isn't just providing energy. It's a structural element, integrated into the car's body so completely that the Spectre is 30% stiffer than any Rolls-Royce ever built before it. Stiffer means fewer vibrations reaching the cabin. Fewer vibrations means the silence deepens. And in a Rolls-Royce, silence isn't the absence of noise. It's a presence, something you feel settle over you the moment the coach door closes with a sound like a vault ceiling shut. Studies show that sustained silence lowers cortisol and reduces heart rate. Rolls-Royce didn't just engineer quiet, they engineered calm. The battery doesn't just give this car range, it gives the car its composure. On the road, the Spectre is enormous, nearly 5.5 meters long and over 2.2 meters wide, with a sweeping fastback roofline that flows from the spirit of ecstasy at the front all the way to the rear haunches like a luxury yacht cutting through still water. The Pantheon grille, that iconic vertical curtain of chrome, is illuminated for the first time on any production Rolls-Royce. At night, it approaches you like a lit monument moving through darkness, every vertical bar glowing softly, announcing the car's presence before the headlights even register. You can order the body in virtually any color, including two-tone combinations applied by hand in multiple careful layers. Optional 23-inch forged wheels fill the arches with quiet authority. The Spectre doesn't try to look elegant, it looks inevitable, as if this shape was always waiting inside the Rolls-Royce design language and simply needed the right moment to emerge. Beneath this sculpture, the planar suspension system represents the most advanced ride technology Rolls-Royce has ever deployed. Cameras mounted behind the windshield read the road surface ahead of the front wheels. Before a bump reaches the tire, the suspension has already adjusted to absorb it. The system connects to GPS navigation data, meaning the car knows what the road looks like around a corner it hasn't reached yet, and preloads the dampers accordingly. Combined with air suspension, active anti-roll bars, and the low center of gravity from the floor-mounted battery, the result is a ride that passengers describe not as smooth, but as detached, as if the car exists on a plane slightly above the road surface. Other luxury suspensions react to imperfections. The Spectre's suspension has already forgotten them. Entry is through power-operated coach doors, rear-hinged, electronically controlled doors that swing open like the entrance to a private residence. Press a button on the key or inside the cabin, and the massive door glides outward in a slow, silent arc, revealing the full interior in a single theatrical moment. Press again, and it returns, sealing with that deep, vault-like closure that tells your nervous system you are now somewhere protected, somewhere private, somewhere the outside world cannot follow. Inside, 4 individual seats face forward, each one heated, ventilated, and upholstered in leather selected with such care that choosing the hide for a single seat can take days. Every element of the interior is determined by the owner through Rolls-Royce's bespoke commissioning program. The shade of leather, the species of wood, the thread color of every stitch, the weave pattern of the floor mats. No two Spectres leave the Goodwood factory identical. A fully bespoke specification can add over $100,000 to the base price of $400,000, pushing most delivered examples past $550,000. Owners don't hesitate, because what they're purchasing isn't a vehicle configuration. It's the only car on Earth built specifically for them. Now look up and see the sky you designed. The Starlight Headliner, Rolls-Royce's most iconic feature, stretches across the entire ceiling. Thousands of individual fiber optic strands are hand-threaded into the roof lining and individually positioned to create a glowing constellation that pulses with soft, living light. You can commission your own star pattern, a meaningful date rendered in the night sky, the constellation visible from a place that changed your life, an arrangement that exists nowhere else in the universe except above your head in this car. But the 2026 Spectre introduces something no Rolls-Royce has ever offered, and no other manufacturer can replicate. Starlight doors. Thousands of additional fiber optic points embedded into the interior door panels, extending the constellation from ceiling to walls. Stars above you, stars beside you. At night, with every interior light extinguished except the fiber optics, the cabin becomes a private planetarium. A soft, glowing galaxy wrapped around 4 passengers in complete silence. The light doesn't illuminate the cabin, it transforms it. You stop sitting inside a car. You start floating inside a sky that was made only for you. The Spectre is not without compromise. Nearly 3 tons of mass means parking garages require attention, and multi-story car parks become geometry exercises. The 465-kilometer range is sufficient for a full day, but a cross-country journey requires planning that a $550,000 buyer has every right to expect should be effortless. Rolls-Royce's charging infrastructure partnerships are developing, but not yet at the level the ownership experience demands. These are honest limitations of a first-generation platform, and they are worth naming because everything else about this car is so extraordinary that pretending it has no flaws would insult the intelligence of anyone considering one. Experts from Car and Driver and Motor Trend have reached the same conclusion. The 2026 Spectre is the current pinnacle of electric luxury. Not the most expensive electric car, not the fastest, the most complete.